Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. It's Kim here. And look at this box. Isn't this amazing? It is full to the top. I still got a few little inches that I can put a couple things in for a surprise. But this is Wanda's box. Now, this is going out to her tomorrow. And so I thought I would just do a quick video for you to see some of the stuff that she got. I'm going to put it on its side now. This is a huge box. It's the medium size prepaid postage box, which is the easiest way to do this for me, because then they're all the same size and I know exactly how this works. And Wanda is one of my newer thrifties, and she filled her box pretty quickly. She went back to some of the old videos, and I always keep a list on the old ones of things that people hadn't taken, what was still available. And so she went back and picked a few items to put into her box. So in no time at all, she is full, but she is starting a second box. That's the fun part about my thrifties. They realize this is a good deal and don't want to miss out on all the opportunities. So what is a thrifty and how to become a thrifty? I have a video in the description box below. Just click on the link where it says description, where it says more, and you'll get a drop down of all the links that are there. There's a lot of stuff there. You really should check it out once in a while. But there is a video explaining how to become a thrifty and what a thrifty is. There is a waiting list. I don't know that you'll be able to get on it before January. That's being honest, because when I am done with all of these thrifties that I'm running right now, it'll probably be around the middle of October by the time everybody is done packing their boxes, and I'm going to take a break because it is a lot of work to do this. And so what happens when you're a thrifty is you pay for the box, and then on different videos that I have, whether it's a Thrifty Canucks video or a destash video, I do offer to the thrifties different items that they can put in their box. Not everything, of course. Some things when I go thrifting are for my personal use, but there are usually 3 or 4 or 5 things, I don't know, more, that people can pick from to add things to their box. And it's a great way to accumulate an assortment of items. I'm a seasoned thrifter. I'm a seasoned junk journaler. So I find these things and I know how to use them, and I explain how to use them and I show you. So it's a great way to get your basic stash up, or maybe I have things that are different from where you live, or maybe where you live there isn't even a thrift shop. So it's a great way to fill a box and use up some of my stash. And for me, I'm getting to the point where I have to bring my stash down to a more reasonable although I don't know what's reasonable, a more reasonable collection. And so this is a great way for me to purge some stuff and give you the opportunity to use it in your own creations. And some items, that I'm destashing, I paid lots of money for it. So it's fun to give it to people who are going to use it, knowing that I did pay lots for it, and you are getting a very good deal on some of these items. But anyway, let's get started and show what's in Wanda's box. You can learn more about thrifties in those videos. If you do want to become a thrifty, you have to leave a comment on that video, and I will put you on a waiting list. You must be from Canada, of course. So follow that information and leave the comment there, because that's the only way I'm going to find you, is to go back and see the comments on those videos and collect them from there. So I'm going to start by taking the box and just turning it sideways, because you can see how full it is. It's sticking out of the top. The sad part is I strategically packed all this, and then I realized, oh, Kim, you got to unpack it, show everybody, and then repack it. So that should be fun in itself. But I'm going to take some of these items out. Now, to get the full description of different things, sorry, that's mine. I got to be careful, Wanda, that I don't put some of my stuff into your box. I just shut my lights out. 1 second here. Just 1 second. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. I somehow flicked off my power from underneath. I think when I bumped the table here a little bit, I loosened the cord or something. But yeah, I got to make sure that I don't put stuff into Wanda's box that is mine. So I have a package here, and this is where I packaged all of the distressed ribbons. And so different times throughout, I offer shabby ribbons from sheets that I cut up or fabric pieces that I cut up. I always like to trim them with a pin because I know it's safe to go in the mail or, you know, in the packages. And then I always put a little dangle that is complementary one way or another to the fabric. So this one's got butterflies on it and a few extra little strands here. Get that out of the way. I think that actually came from my pile over there. So there's the butterfly one. Then there's this blue flower with the beige leaves. And these are from different times in my thrifting. So it's not all at once. But I think there was the one day I had the different sheet sets. And so I offered the fabrics all at once. So there's this pink flower with the kind of pinky burgundy color. And then there's these orange and yellow flowers. This was a separate one, a blue fabric with the beige background. Love this fabric, very vintage looking. Another blue fabric, this teal blue with the blue flowers, not roses, just blue flowers. And then a plain shabby white that you can either ink stain or you can stamp on it, all kinds of fun things that you can do. So all of them come with the pins, closing them, and a dangle from it. And then when I offered the sheet sets, these last couple rounds, I have been offering a piece of fabric to go with it if you wanted it. And so she has the matching piece of fabric. The fabric is about 12 by 20 wherever possible, and sometimes smaller depending on how much material I have. But I do try to let you know ahead of time what I can cut it into so that you have a better idea. And even though this is folded differently, it is about the same size as these ones. So these were all matching to the shabby ribbons that she took here. This was a pillowcase. I had 2 pillowcases. It's a beautiful fabric. I washed it. So it's the sizing is out of it now. It's not as stiff, but it's just gorgeous, just beautiful. This was a little girl's dress that I had cut up at one time, and so I offered everybody a panel of this. You know, a little girl's dress, while there's lots of fabric, it doesn't go super far, but with these little roses, you can cut them out individually. You can also cut them as a long strip to use as a trim, or you can cut them in squares or patches, however you want to make some pockets and things. Fun little trim to use. This was a tablecloth, and I cut up, and if people wanted, I gave them a piece. I tried to give them everybody pieces that had, you know, where you could cut out the flower or, you know, in bits and pieces, the leaves or the little flourishes that are in here, and use it that way. Or you could use it as a whole panel piece as well. This was from a while back, this next fabric, and it is a gorgeous fabric. It's a kind of a shimmery brown color, and these circles here on top they're raised. They're above the fabric and stitched on in the different patterns. And this just, you know, I look at this fabric, and it's a good size piece, so you can easily get 1, maybe 2 covers out of here. But what I liked about this is this just looked like a spot where you could actually frame something. So you could put some embroidery in there, you could hand stitch in there, you could put a picture in there and further collage around it. Lots of options with this fabric, and you know, it's very tactile, it's dimensional. So a fun piece to work with. This was a curtain. So again, I try to give you good size pieces without you having tons of yardage for stuff that you don't need. Yeah, I mean, you know, when I make 1 or 2 journals out of a fabric, I get tired of it. So it's nice for me to be able to now cut things up and, you know, give to my thriftees, and then still keep enough for myself to do my own projects. If you watched my destash video last week, this was what I called my junk drawer starter kit. So do check out the video. You can get a better explanation there of what's in here. But there are game pieces. There's some old vintage gaskets, auto gaskets. There's even a watch in here, a vintage watch. There's a bullet. There's chains. All kinds of goodness in here to use for your journals, for kind of a mixed media, kind of a found object box or container. And then there's even a little knob in here, like I said, because everybody needs a knob. So there's fun stuff. And all of this, I use a lot of this in masculine type journals or steampunk. If I'm doing steampunk journals, you can distress it and play with it. There's a bell in here, pieces of checkers, a piece of a ruler where the hole has been drilled through so that you can attach this very easily to your projects. Fun stuff. But do check out the video. I explain how you can use this more in the video, and it might inspire you. And I do sell these on Coffee as well, in my shop on Coffee. Now, she took the elephant pieces. This was an assortment of elephant fabrics that I had. I had picked up thrifting, and this was the larger elephant. This was out of a scarf. Isn't that beautiful? And then the other scarf had what I would call the medium. And I made sure everybody got at least 2 of the elephants out of there. So, if you're ever doing a safari journal or, kind of a boho, Indian style, kind of with some saris and stuff, this would be fun to play with. And then this was the smallest elephant, and I was able to give everybody 3 out of here. So you can cut these into individual pieces. I also tried to leave a trim of some kind on here that you can use separately or together. So you can either cut it like this or cut the strip off and just use the elephant separately, which would give you a little flourishy floral bouquet in between that you can use. So it's up to you how, of course, you would use it. But just fun for slow stitching. Lots of ways to decorate this elephant further by adding in, sequins and beads and things. So just a fun little elephant snippets. And I thought I had some other elephant stuff, but I can't find it right at this moment. But one way or another, I will find some for in the future. There's that. And then she took one of the denim kits. I still have a few of these available for sale in my coffee shop. So they are there for sale, but she took one because one of the Thriftees didn't take one. So lucky for her, she was able to get that. Or were you already part of this? Maybe you were already part of it. I'm not sure. But again, I have a video. If you want to see the entire Thrifty playlist, there is a playlist called Thriftees, Kim's Thriftees. And you can go and look at past videos, what I've offered to people. As well, you can see some of the other participants, what they put in their boxes. Because that's kind of fun too. Everybody's different. I offer so many different things, but not everybody takes the same stuff or the same colors, of course. So it's always interesting to see what everybody's getting. So this is all coming out of this box. And she went back and got the last blue boho kit, and this has got some beautiful blingy fabrics, some appliques, some bling trims, some fibers, lots there in this package. And this package comes with 4 boho ladies that are in the complementary colors. So you're pretty much putting a journal cover together right here. All you need is your papers. And speaking of papers, both Caroline and I have a Facebook group called Creative Collections of Free Digital Printables. Yay, I did it. I say this all the time, and I usually botch it one way or another when I'm going to say it, and so it's funny, and I'm sure you guys get a kick out of it when you hear me trying to say the name of our group. And then I watched one of Caroline's videos, and she was mentioning the group, and she couldn't say it either. So afterwards, after I watched her video, I laughed so hard, and I messaged her. I said, "Why did we come up with a crazy name? We come up with this name, but we never said it out loud." So now it's funny to see which one of us is going to mess it up each time. But Creative Collections of Free Digital Printables is a group on Facebook that Caroline and I are sharing, and we offer every single day free images. Now, this group is not to showcase selling products, things we've made, none of that stuff. It's just to show these videos. So we don't even have a welcome anymore for our new members, because we don't want to flood the feed for the site with comments and things where you have to dig through to find the images. So each post is about the images, and that's all it is, so that, maybe you have a day where you're in a funk and you need some inspiration. You can come to our group and you can scroll through all the different images and then click on it and go and download those images to add to your project. Or you can download them every single day and build up a library on your computer. Either way, the images are easy to find. They're easy to see. I do recommend being a member of our group, because then you will get updated notifications that we've put something new in the group. We are posting our images to other Facebook groups because, we're trying to get more attention to our group as well. But the problem there is some groups don't let you post images, even if they're free. They don't want links on their site, which is understandable. We all have different methods to our madness. But some groups do allow it. The only problem with that is we don't have an audience that can see our stuff all the time, because other people are posting and there's other things that are getting posted, so the images get further and further down the feed. But when you come to our group, and I looked at the acronym. We can't even say the acronym. It's CCDFP. So we can't even use the acronym, but our group. But when you come to our group, you can see right away images after images after images. So you're not dealing with all the extra stuff. So that's why you want to become a member of our group, so you get instant, quick access and you can see it all at any time. So, if you are looking for images and you can print them out, whether they be for making ephemera or for signature pages, we have backgrounds, people, design elements, all kinds of fun things, fussy cuts. Do check it out. The link is again below. So another thing that Wanda picked throughout, whenever I get new fibers, and surprisingly, I haven't had any for a couple of weeks. Can you believe it? But whenever I find new fibers, I always offer to my thriftees that they would get a 5-yard length of it. So she's chosen this. It's kind of green, but kind of gold. I call it kind of an antique gold. That's sort of what it looks like to me. Like it's a bit mossy, but more goldish. There's a nice sheen to it. Very thick, very pliable. So fun fiber to work with. Not that they aren't all. They are. They're all beautiful. Then there's this one with the teal and the brown and the green. Everybody liked this one. This was one of the more popular ones. Silver with the pink with the orange, an odd combination, but surprisingly I have stuff that matches this almost perfectly. So I'm looking forward to working with that and using this as well. Another fun one is this rusty orange color with the purple. It's a second thread that's woven through here. Chunky and very fun. I think this will be good for both slow stitching and using for tassels and different ways that you like to use fibers. I use fibers as trim on my ruffles. This is a fun one. And thanks to Deb Ibrahim from DLC Creations. She reminded us that we just cut this thread off the bottom, this thread right along here, and this becomes an instant little fringy thing, like an eyelash fringe almost. And then you've got the top to glue down to your project, so you'd have this little fringe on the bottom. So love that idea. I'm not going to cut Wanda's because Wanda can make that choice herself, but love that idea. And it's a great way to use this style of trim, because this is a tricky trim otherwise to use. So that changes everything. Like I said to Deb, game changer. Makes me love this even more. And another really popular one, and it makes sense. This was called, what was it called? I forget what the name of this was. Anyway, it was like a wild thing kind of fibers, and it's wild. Maybe that's what it was called. Wild fibers? I can't remember. But yeah, lovely. Love the colors in here. A really nice mix, kind of a deeper, almost like an eggplant purple, and then a lighter kind of a mauvey purple, but beautiful colors. Love it. I think it was called Wild Thing. I don't know. I don't remember. Oh, I packed this so well. Okay, there is a package of Asian papers, and it comes with 2 digitals printed out for you already. So you have an image of ladies, and both Chinese and a Japanese style, because these are geisha girls here, so that's Japanese, and then these ladies here are Chinese. And also a page of beautiful Asian style florals. So they're all done in ATC size, but you can use them however. And they come with an assortment of Asian papers. Now, I'm not going to go into big detail with it. You can, again, see the video, but there's script, there's book pages, there's hell money, or Joss paper is what they call it, and just a lovely collection. There's 2 of these pages. They open up, and they're almost velvety feeling. They're a very rich red color, and each one has one of these little papers inside, which would make an excellent belly band or bookmark, but you'd have to back it with another paper because it's very, very delicate. So I'll just tuck that back in here. And Wanda, just so you know, it comes with 2 Asian papers that are quite large, and in order to save them, I put them inside this paper tube so that they don't get ruined. But they're quite large, so they didn't quite fit nicely in the bag. And so there's that. And I'm not done. I am not done. This was our most current random paper pack, 100 plus pieces. So she chose that. Again, go and look at the destash videos. You'll see what they're all about. And then she did get one from our last batch. So I think these were about 75 pieces. They weren't quite as big as this, but still another large package. She got a 10-pack of these butter papers. These are on parchment paper, and they are real papers that they would use. They're vintage, and they would use these to wrap a butter, like a 1 pound block of butter. Like it even says on here, 1 pound. So that's exactly what they were used for. But it's a very fun parchment paper that would fold up really nicely to make a signature page. You could fold it just between these 2 logos here, and then do a little tuck spot with the bottom part, and have a really nice signature page to put in your book. And there's a 10-pack of those. And tucked in the same one on the other side, she got one of the last, her and I don't know if it was Helen or Candace maybe, that somebody got the last, but she got the second last of the Women's Weekly magazines that I had. I'm going to try and get some more. The dealer that I know had quite a lot of them. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Each one is different, of course. This one is from 1964. And, ooh, look at that cone bra. That's quite the piece there. Those were pointy boobs back in the day, huh? Fun images. So she has that. And then she took a 10 pack of, no, a 15 pack, because there was 3 designs, 5 of each, of the New Brunswick postcards that I had picked up at another flea market I went to during the summer. Well, not summer, it was in September as well. So they're just different scenes from New Brunswick. She is from Nova Scotia, so she's familiar with this artist. It is Leona Arsenault. Now I don't know where she's exactly from. No, okay, this says Wellington PEI, but that might be the dealer. I thought she was from Nova Scotia, but maybe she's from PEI. I'm not sure. But maybe you know of her, Wanda. And so nice postcards. You can keep them. Send them out to mail. They're perfect to mail. Just put on a stamp and off they go. Or you can, if you don't like the designs, you can certainly collage over top of here and still have a writing space to use as a journal card in your journals, or, all kinds of uses for these. So she's got a 15 pack of those. And then I did offer books one day. So she chose 2 hardcover books from my stash. Love this one. I love the distressed look on this cover. Karnak by Gilbert Parker. It is 1922 copyright. Actually, this book in particular, I think I was telling people that I love these end papers that have the little specks and dots on them and the staining. I don't know if you can see that in the book or in the video. But these are nice to put into your printer and just photocopy and use them and have this distressed look of pages. It's just a storybook, very stained looking, aged pages, no smell, just, your vintage smell. It's not offensive. Then she chose this book, John Halifax Gentleman. Cover has to be cleaned up a little bit. Love this writing here from 1907. So this in itself, you take this page out and put it through your printer. You can use it over and over and over again. I think there's one picture in here and no date. This one didn't have a date, but we went by this 1907 date. But lovely thin pages. So there's lots here to work with. But I love the coloring of them as well. They're automatically ready to go for you. No inking required. And they're a good size to use as journal cards, just as a base. So you can take this, glue it to some file folder or, heavier stock, and then collage on top of it, and you have an instant journal card. So love this, and great book that she's chosen. And then she's got 2 book covers to make journals with after she gets them. The Coca-Cola playing cards, she took those. They were a 5 pack of 2 designs. Quickly show you them. There's the other one. And then this is a photo reproduction of a 12 pack of these gentlemen. And they're quite sinister looking. Great for steampunk, great for masculine. So lots of fun to play on these. And this is, open it up to show you, is a 10 pack, I think, or 10 or 12, I can't remember, of different images. Oh, here's another elephant for you, Wanda. Now, do be careful, Wanda. This is with a pin in it, but I've rolled it up inside. So this was an offering, and I think there's 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 of each. 3 of each? Yeah. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, yes, that's how it went. There's 6 palm trees, 3 monkeys, 3 elephants, because palm trees was the most. But it's an assortment of pieces. It was a shower curtain or a curtain. I'm not sure which one. But they were quite spread out in the curtain. So I just cut them out to a reasonable shape that I knew I could work with. And I offered everybody a 12-pack of these. Because there were lots. It was a curtain. It was a very big curtain, and I have enough to last me for a long time. So I want to just be careful on this one. There is a pin, but it's buried inside. Oh my goodness, I got to put all this back in this box. At one time, I offered a 4-pack of coasters. They are just felt backed on the back side. These are great if you don't like them as a coaster. They are vintage. This is Toronto, Kingston, St. Francis River, and Quebec. Now, you could use them as a coaster like this if you want. I like collaging on these and putting a back on them and using them as journal cards. They're heavy. They also make good toppers to put on a journal, so you can decorate them on the front and then use it as a topper to give you a little bit of dimension. This might be a little bit tight, but it would certainly fit nice. And even the color, look at that. Wanda, this is gorgeous. Look at you. You don't even have to really do anything to this cover. Just glue this down. Amazing. That was just a fluke. But love it. Love the coloring and the gold and the green in here. Perfect. Do you see what's going on here? Look how much is in this box. And there's more. She chose the silk embroidery threads that I had. There was a story on that way back during the summer. I managed to get a whole big schwack of that stuff and slowly distributing it to people as we go along. And I will offer this again probably in the new year because I have lots of it. So each of these comes as a length. This is all one length, and it starts out in the dark color and goes to the lighter pink. So it's one long strand. And it's got these knots holding it all together. And then when you undo those knots, it's got 3 smaller knots holding that batch together, and each batch is 10. So this has 30 strands of this cord. And it's expensive. It's expensive to buy online, and I got so much of it. And so I offered all the different colors, which are here. And so, Wanda, you can play with this on your own and sort it how you like to sort it. But I will offer this again because I have lots of it. So if the Thriftees want to get it next time around, it will come up again. So then I offered 2 different packs of lace. I'm not going to open these up. It took everything to get it back get in here. This is a lot of 50 pieces, and the pieces are 1 yard for the most part. There might be 1 or 2 that are smaller pieces, but I think they're all 1 yard. I can't remember exactly. I did up a black set of 50 and I did a red set of 50. And so they are cords, trims, lace, braiding, pearls, fibers, all different kinds of things. So you got a good assortment here to work with in the color black. Black is a very hard color for people to find. I have a lot of it, but I do have people telling me all the time that the black is the hardest color to find. So this is a great offering with the 50 pieces. I do have this available on coffee if you wish to purchase it. And the last 2 items. This is my crunchy, crusty, ugly ribbon is what I call it. Now, it is florist ribbon. And if you've seen this, and I know you have, it comes in these huge rolls of 50 to 100 yards. Most of them are 100 yards. And the colors are vintagey type colors. And it's crusty. If you put this in hot water, I say boiling water is the hardest you can get out of your sink. and let it sit for about 2 hours. But every once in a while when you go by it, give it a squish and a crunch and just keep kneading it and working it. And I do that a little bit beforehand. So even now, like to squish it up and play with it and then stick it in the hot water. What happens is the hot water takes out the sizing that's in this material. And so it's not crunchy anymore. And I always have this piece on the table here to show you. It is now very soft and very pliable, and it feels just like seam binding, and it looks just like seam binding. And so much fun to work with this, so economical to work with this. And the colors are all these very dated colors of the time period. You know, this was very popular in the 50s, 60s, 70s, even the 80s. We used to sell this in our shop back, I think it was up to the early 90s we used to sell this. But florists use this ribbon for floral bouquets, and it's because it's stiff and it holds its shape, which we don't want. We want it to be very soft and pliable for our journals. So taking the sizing out of this gives you very economical ribbons. So when you see these big rolls, buy it, pick it up, because they're cheap. Usually $1 or $2 for a roll of this stuff, because nobody likes it. But now you know the secret is to put it in a hot bath and take out the sizing, and then it looks just like that. This also takes well to dyes and distress inks. So if you get lighter colors and you don't like it, you can easily change the colors. So the last thing is the funny thing. I had got this big bag of spoons, and they're just a plastic spoon inside of a little wrapper. I found these in the makeup section. So I don't know if it's a spoon exactly, or if it's like to push your cuticles up. I'm not sure. But it came in this huge pack, and they came in bunches of 5 in the plastic pieces. The only thing that was bad about this, and I'll remind Wanda if you're watching, it must have been a smoker that had these in their stash, because the plastic stinks. It was too much work for me to take all the plastic off of these, so I just put them into another sealed bag so you don't smell it. But when you get this in your stash, Wanda, you'll want to take them out of the bags, discard the bags, and maybe throw it in a hot bath of some kind of soapy water so you don't get that smell. I don't think they should smell on once you open them up, but they may, so just in case, give them a wash. What I would use these spoons for, they're great for measuring out and picking out beads. They're great for scooping out glitter out of a jar when you want to use some glitter on something. They're great for scooping out your embossing powders. They're great for mixing epoxies or mixing paints, all kinds of things. And then, of course, you can wash them and reuse them over and over again. And I just picked up they were a whole big bundle. If you go back a few videos, you'll see it and have a good laugh at my expense. Because I find this stuff and it's like, oh yeah, I think I can do something with these. And definitely, these are great for stirring and for measuring out little bits of stuff. But don't use them for cocaine, okay? That's it for Wanda's stuff. Like I said, now I got to take all this and pack it back into her box. Oh, goodness. Wish me luck. Luckily, if I can't fit it all back in, she has started another box that I can slide something into the other box if it doesn't all fit back in. But I'm going to try my darndest to get it all back in. I did it once. I'm sure I could do it again. So again, if you want to become a thrifty, follow the links and sign up, and you'll be on the waiting list for the new year, because I will start them up again January, because this is a great way for me to move some stock. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching. I would love your comments on what you think of all this, what she got for her money. I think she did pretty good. And I think she knows she did good because she's starting another box. I'll tell you, they're addicted. Anne started another box. Ruth and Wanda is now already starting another box. So yeah, I think I'm going to be keeping these girls around for a while. Have yourself all a very creative day and a creative week, and I look forward to seeing you all soon. Bye for now.